Telling you. Wasn't ready. I didn't have the lights on. What is up with that? What was I thinking? Oh man. What a night we had last night. What a night we had. Oh, a great night of cyber trivia. I think it was fun, was had by all. Still trying to figure out, this is our 10th one we've done. Done 10 cyber trivia nights already. Good morning, Cody. And Alex, good morning to you guys. Cody. Yeah, cyber trivia. We were on it doggone it last night. Rainier, good morning. Good morning, Rainier. It was a good night. Mike Bravo, I think, we came out early when we were doing cyber trivia nights. We were doing these trivia nights, and out the gate early, Mike Bravo took the dramatic, commanding lead on these things, and Ralph came in, evened it up, then took the lead, and then last night, in the tour de force, Mike Bravo took everything. He won the coffee, he won the cup, or t-shirt, whichever one he wants. He swept the board, he came in, and now they're neck and neck. So Ralph and Mike Bravo are tied for who has the most wins on Cyber Trivia Night. If you haven't played Cyber Trivia Night, next one's November 19th. They're free. The big thing, everybody seems to have a problem with Socrative. You got to go to Socrative. It's another site, so you have to have 2 sites up, or a website and an application. And that's the big thing, is we stream it on YouTube, and then we take the answers on Socrative. So you have to have Socrative to answer the questions, and you can do that through a web browser, or you can download the app. My preference, the way I do it, is I download the app and then watch the live stream. Alex says, sorry, Mr. Trivia, too many commitments. We know, life is hectic. We had one person join. They played a couple. Actually, they logged into like Socrative 3 times, and they didn't like the pause. We've got like a little pause. We ask a question. We give you guys a time period to answer. And we know there's always like a 5 to 10 second delay from when we say something, like right now, when I'm saying something, to when you hear it is like 5 seconds. So we got to work that little 5 to 10 second delay into it. But I thought it was a great time. I thought it was a great time. I thought it was fun. Had beverage of your choice, grab some food, answer some questions. If you're into it, talk some smack on the channel, on the chat session. It was fun. It was a fun time. But that drives us to today. Today we got some topics to talk about. It is Red Friday. Remember everyone deployed. We got red everywhere. The red t-shirt. I do have the red Go Travel Cup, though I'm not traveling anywhere. But we got the news of the day. What is going on today? You may want to ask what's going on today. Cyber Command is talking about the ping of death, the new ping of death. If you were around earlier in IT, probably the 80s, you remember the ping of death. It would kill systems. There's a new ping of death back, and it's back, and it's mad, I guess. There's a way we can fix it, though. We can get around. It's pretty easy to get around. We can fix this thing pretty easily. We'll tell you how to do that today. Iranian hacker groups are out running some ransomware junk. Oh, always ransomware, guys. Always ransomware. Why they're using this is there's a different reason why these guys are using it than normal. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Dee is up this morning saying good morning all. Good morning, everyone. Keeping things going. She runs all the social media. So if you see social media on Cyber-Recon doing well, doing bad. We can give her the credit. She's actually making a good improvement on our our social media presence, because we dang sure can't keep up with it. And then our top story today is the cybersecurity skill drought. Oh man, this is one, like, I don't know if Eric's on. Eric's usually on pretty early. I don't know if he is. We've been talking like crazy about this weird thing we got going on. So yeah, Dia's saying, yeah, she's trying to keep that social media up and running. We're trying to get them all synchronized. There's so many of them. If you're anyone on trying to keep a presence on social media, you need somebody just to. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's a ton of things to keep up with. Way more than that. Way more than I can think of right now on a rainy Friday morning out here. And Eric, yeah, our third story, I was thinking about you, Eric, when I was reading this third story this morning, is just the drought we have in cybersecurity. And the article is going a little more into not only not getting qualified people in the field into cybersecurity, but they're also talking about, well, there's another article I pulled up to go with this one. So you can't get people in the field. We're short getting people in the field. But then also the people working the field have a skill gap. So that's just crazy. It's crazy, guys. But Eric will tell you, how do you get in the field? That's that we as this cyber folks, the folks that have been in cyber around for a while, we've been out here doing this for a while. How do we fix the fact that people want to get into cyber? You have to have skills to get into cyber, but you can't get skills until you get in. So the whole catch-22 that's been around forever is how do we get people into this field? How do we, people are out there training like crazy. People are training, they're getting certifications there, but then when they go see that hiring manager, when they try to get it through HR, they can't get through HR. So we got to have a way to bring folks in. We got to have a way, once folks are in the field, where do we build a training path? Where do we build a career path? How do we help folks? And it's not a one-size-fits-all. Obviously, it's not one-size-fits-all, but we have to have a way to do this. Good morning, Mike. Good to see you again. It was nice to see you last night. Fortunately, Mike faced the problem of not getting into Socrative last night in trivia, so he had all the answers but couldn't answer anything. So that's the rundown this morning. That's what we want to talk about this morning. Is not that last one. I want to give as much time as possible to the last article, and then the companion article I pulled up from, I think, November of last year. I think this really needs a good, strong look. How we're going to take care of this field, man. How are we taking care of the field? So let me do the intro. Let me move some stuff around first so I can be ready to do the intro. It's that kind of morning. It feels like a Monday the way today's going. So let's get the intro, and then we'll be on to the news. Here we go again. On our own. Guys, YouTube, I don't know. It tells me crazy stuff when I look over there. And it's telling me nobody's watching. I know people are watching. I see them down here. I see them on the other board. I see there's folks out there watching. But it is YouTube, so we know it does its own dang thing. So we started talking about this a little bit yesterday. We're talking about Patch Tuesday for Microsoft. U.S. Cyber Command, U.S. Cyber Command, U.S. Cyber Command, or Cyber-Comm, warns that users should apply the latest patch for Microsoft software to ensure they don't fall victim to exploitation attempts. Yeah, I recommend that too. Most important of these issues, Cyber Command points out, is CVE 2020-16898. We talked about this one yesterday. A critical bug in the Windows TCP IP stack that can be triggered remotely to potentially achieve a remote code execution on the victim machine, which is hard. Don't think that's the biggest vulnerability on this thing. I mean, it's the most impactful should it happen. But this other part of it is the ping of death. The new ping of death 2, version 2 of the ping of death. So the remote code execution might not be easy to achieve. Sophos has demonstrated how the vulnerability can be exploited to cause a blue screen of death, which is why the company described this as the ping of death vulnerability. So addressed on the patch Tuesday this week, the flaw can be exploited through a specially crafted ICMP version 6 router advertisement packet sent to the vulnerable system. These packets are not handled properly. Both Windows 10 and Windows Server are susceptible to the exploitation. Cyber-Con is saying, update your Microsoft softwares now so your system isn't exploited. 2020-16898 in particular should be patched immediately, as vulnerable systems could be compromised remotely. Yeah, remote execution is the worst we have to worry about in these worlds, right? McAfee saying, we believe the vulnerability can be detected with simple heuristics that parse all incoming ICMP version 6 traffic, looking for packets with the ICMP version 6 field type of 134, indicating a router advertisement, and an ICMP version 6 option field of 25, indicating recursive DNS server. That's going to be they call this thing bad neighbor. It's likely part of a bad neighbor exploit if you see those things. So if you're setting this up, if you're going to work today, the vulnerability, it's just dropping systems. It's killing systems is why the people do this. I guess it could be used as a type of, if somebody wanted to use it as an exploit ransomware, I think it'd be hard to exploit that way, but really the risk of this thing is people just dropping your systems. Remote exploit is obviously something to worry about. The big thing is folks just dropping your systems off the network. Users are advised to apply the patches as soon as possible if that's not a viable option. Available workarounds including disabling IP version 6 or blocking or dropping IP version 6 router advertisements at the network perimeter. Windows Defender and Windows Firewall failed to block the proof of concept when enabled. It's unknown yet if this attack can succeed tunneling ICMP version 6 traffic over IP version 4 using 6-4 and other things. Our efforts, McAfee's efforts, to repeat this have not been successful to date. So big things, patch your systems if you can. If not, possibly, depending on what you got going on at your organization, block that ICMP version for advertising at your perimeter, at your firewalls. That's what we got to do. So Cyber-Con is out there doing their job, telling you what has to be done to fix this thing. Craziness, guys. Oh, the Iranians are in the news. Man, Iran, these state-sponsored folks are the worst. This article from yesterday. Security researchers said they found clues linking recent attacks to the Thanos ransomware group of Iranian state-sponsored hackers. While investigating security incidents at several prominent Israeli organizations, security researchers from Clear Sky said they linked intrusions to Muddy Water, a known state-sponsored hacking group. I don't like when people do this. You just use the normal names, guys. Use the normal names. If you have to do the translation of the name, Muddy Waters is Static Kitten. If you have to remember, this is a Static Kitten. That's what this Iranian group is named as. This article is gonna call them Muddy Waters. Their Static Kitten is the APT name. AP name Muddy Water equals Static Kitten. I'd rather use just one name. Let's not use all these different aliases for different APTs. So Static Kitten would use phishing emails to carry out malicious Excel or PDF documents that, when open, would download and install malware from the hacker's server. They've also got a second way they're going to try to attack. They're going to scan the internet for unpatched Microsoft Exchange mail servers and exploit this patch, CVE 2020-0688. So if that's not patched, they're going to go after that one. If they can't get your end user to click on an email, they're going to go for the vulnerability in your Exchange server. Clear Guy says the second stage malware wasn't any piece of malicious code, but a strain that has been seen and documented only once before. They call this thing PowGoop. It's a PowerShell-based threat. It's only been seen once, and that was in early September, and was used to install the Thanos ransomware, according to a report from fellow security firm Palo Alto Networks. Other Thanos malware or ransomware attacks have used other malware strains to deploy ransomware, namely the ubiquitous goo loader, completely different malware strain written in Visual Basic 6. Clear Sky says they stopped the intrusion before the attackers could have done any harm, but the company is now raising the alarms, the signs of Thanos ransomware incidents. Thanos ransomware has been used as a means to destroy evidence of intrusion. So, in essence, groups like these APTs, Static Kitten in this case, could go in and attack a network, and to cover their tracks, instead of trying to delete all that stuff, the easiest way they're using to cover their tracks now is just deploying ransomware on the system, so that the folks coming in to investigate can't see anything because it's all locked up with ransomware. The tactic of deploying ransomware to hide intrusions has been seen before by other state-sponsored operations and has been well documented. It's noisy, though. I mean, you know, the big point, a lot of these APTs, a lot of these hacking groups want to get in, be stealthy, steal the information they need, get out without being noticed. If you throw ransomware on the network, you're obviously going to be noticed, right? So recent versions of Thanos also completely rewrite the MBR master boot record to prevent the system from booting at all. Static Kitten, they keep saying Muddy Water. I'm going to keep saying Static Kitten, dipping his toe into ransomware deployments, might be related to the recent mounting political tensions and back and forth cyber attacks between Iran and Israel. Remember, these attacks are pointed at Israel. Muddy Waters or Static Kitten has a long history of attacks. Most past operations were geared towards very stealthy intelligence collection. Ransomware in any form is not stealthy and can be very destructive, especially when the threat actors choose not to honor ransom payments and deliver decryption keys, something Zadenberg says could be possibly, especially when viewed in the current political context. So they're saying, in this case, the Static Kitten is going to use ransomware as a cover for their attack, their breach. So if they do throw the ransomware there and they get the money, they're more than likely not going to give up their decryption keys, just because the whole point of the attack of the ransomware was to cover the tracks of what they did, what they took, that kind of thing. If they pay the money, Israeli firms pay the money, just extra money these guys get, I guess. I wouldn't, in this case, very rarely do you see a ransomware attack where the victim pays the money and doesn't get the data decrypted, because that breaks the whole playing field. If you pay the money and don't get decrypted, less people are, it just breaks it. Less people will be likely to pay in the future. That's why essentially most of these ransomware operators, if you pay the money, they do decrypt your data. They still have your data, most of them. They still have your sensitive data, and they can do whatever they want with that. Not a good sign. Ransomware, there's really no good options with ransomware. As we talk about ransomware, like Eric, we were talking about Monday, ransomware is in the news every single day. If we're not finding ransomware articles, I don't know what you call that day. What day you call that? For the big story, yeah, Cody, APTs, man. I just put a big exclamation point behind that. APTs. They're coming to get you. Coming to get you. Good illy coffee. Mike won himself some illy coffee last night. Big fan of it. Big fan. We even got the Mike's soon to be can here, ready to go. Ready to go. Eric saying nonstop, man. Nonstop ransomware. So last on the old Hitchin post. Move that one over there somewhere. Screens everywhere. This article from Security Boulevard on the Boulevard. Their line is just what cybersecurities don't want to hear. The skill shortage is worsening. So 3 bullet points. This article starts with, and a story from October 14th, a couple days ago. Cybersecurity skill gaps continues to get worse according to the latest research. Among the top ramifications for cybersecurity teams are increasing workload, unfilled jobs, and the inability to learn or use cybersecurity technologies to their full potential. And finally, security and business executives need to work together to address the issue more effectively. I agree with all those things. All those things are true. The organization, who's this? This is Enterprise Strategy Group. Did some research, some surveying. They surveyed 327 global security and IT professionals earlier this year. It's not a lot of people, but I guess a small group's hard to, it's hard to get cybersecurity people to fill out surveys and respond to them. Most cybersecurity folks are cautious or hesitant to fill that stuff out to start with. So probably, I guess 327 is probably a pretty good run. They probably tried to get over 1,000 people, but anyways. So they surveyed 327, actually a really good engine from General Motors, 327. Cybersecurity crisis continues to worsen for the 4th year in a row and has impacted nearly 3/4 of organizations. Top ramifications of the skill shortage include, for organizations, are increased workload, unfilled open job requisitions, and the inability to learn and use cybersecurity technologies at full potential, putting organizations at significant risk. And I think these are all true. That last one, cybersecurity leadership is quick to go buy a new tool. These tools are expensive. I'm telling you, expensive tools. And then implement only portions of that tool. And then the folks at the engagement level, the folks at the tactical level, are running so fast to try to get stuff implemented and fight the fires of the day that a lot of times they don't have time to learn all of the features of these new tools just in time for leadership to change tools or to throw another round of new tools on top of them. So it's really mastering the tools you have. Get that finite set of tools. Get a tight set of tools and use them to their maximum potential, right? The shortage has been going, skill gap, I should say, it's not really a shortage. Skill gap has been going on for nearly 10 years. There's no significant progress towards a solution. 45% of respondents said the skill shortage and its associated impacts have gotten worse in recent years. What is needed, they say, is a holistic approach to continuous cyber security education where each stakeholder needs to play a role in collaborating rather than operating in silos. Yes, plan people's careers. If you're a cybersecurity leader and you're out there, you're working, you need to sit down with your people and you need to plan their careers. And those careers may not be with you. They may be outside your organization. But you need to plan to move those people, those junior people, all the way through your organization and possibly somewhere else. They may stay within your organization. But if you keep them within your company or within the greater organization, that's even better for you. It goes back to the old joke, the IT guy and the HR person talking, and the HR person says, well, what if we train all these people and they leave? And the IT or the security guy says, well, what if we don't train them and they stay? So You got to do it. You got to put money into training. Organizations have to put money into training. And people, if you're in this field, you guys already know this. You're up in the morning listening to the cyber news. You got to put the time in. You got to put the time in. 70% of the cybersecurity professionals surveyed don't have well-defined career paths, and this is a historical solutions, and that's only compounding problems. Cybersecurity careers depend on hands-on experience, and that requires a job. So we talked about earlier, that catch-22. When asked what was most important for their career development, hands-on experience or security certifications, more than half of the respondents chose hands-on experience. However, 44% said hands-on experience and certifications are equally important. The combination of experience and certification requires the right job, the right career path, but few security professionals are achieving this combination. You gotta, don't float, man. If you're in a situation where somebody's not helping you with this, and Alex, this is what we got to kind of work out with that mentorship program. How we take somebody from where they're at today, whether that's in the cybersecurity field, if they're working in this field now, they're trying to get in, to where they're at in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. What's that path look like to get to them where they want to go? So that means the person that's sitting there in the hot seat, the person being mentored, they have to say honestly where they want to be in 10 years. Maybe it is a SOC analyst. Maybe 10 years from now, maybe they're a SOC analyst now, and in 10 years they want to be a SOC analyst, but the best SOC analyst they can be. Or maybe they want to be a director or a CSO or whatever. We have to figure out where they want to be and what's the right path to get them there. And it's not all send them off to college, right? Coyote is going to tell us. Very true. No specialization. Yeah, we have a lot of people that are generalists. Well, that's good. A generalist is good. If you're a deep specialist, you can almost write your own ticket. As long as you pick the right specialization to go in. Some companies, they no longer pay for certifications at front. Yeah, a lot of organizations are going to make you get the certification first, and then they're going to reimburse you. And that what they're reimbursing for definitely is coming down. And if you're in consulting seems to still pay for a whole bunch of stuff, because the more you get, the more they can market you for, because you are essentially, as I was a consultant for a number of years, as a consultant for a company, you're essentially the product, you're the cattle. So you have to have good credentials, so that they normally in consulting, if you're with one of the big ones, Accenture or Booz Allen or those ones, a lot of times you're going to get the ability to go do essentially whatever certification you want. Other places, if you're an employee from a company, normally you're going to get decent training and 1 or 2 certifications a year. And if you're in the government, good luck, guys. I know they're cutting your budget like crazy. And I don't even know what's an option for the government. If you're a government contractor, the government's not giving you anything because you're supposed to have that. But for government employees, I don't know what you folks get anymore. But that path needs to be built. And you want to make sure that people are taking training that's on that path and not some shiny object that comes up or somebody that sells them something. So the story continues. The report says it takes years to become a proficient cybersecurity professional. About 40% of surveyors says it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 years to develop real cybersecurity proficiency, and 22% say it takes 2 to 3 years, and 18% say more than 5 years. I think to get proficient is about 5 years, and then somewhere between 5 and 10 to become skilled, very, very technical at this. But you have to have a plan. You gotta have it someplace to drive it. This means cybersecurity professionals should be viewed as long-term investments, not immediate problem solvers. That brings up another problem here. Is most people today don't stay long-term with an organization because it's not in the organization's best interest, and generally it's not in the person's best interest to stay a long-term with an organization. Especially out here in DC and these big metro areas, people go from one job to another very quickly. And I'm saying quickly, like 1 to 3 years, they're going from one job to another. It's hard to see somebody's long-term investment when the chances are they're going to be gone in 3 years. So you got to make the workplace someplace people want to stay. You got to make your organization someplace people want to stay. Makes it hard. About 2/3 of respondents think the organization should be doing somewhat or a lot more to address cybersecurity challenges. Yeah, probably true. Yeah. Cody, factoring in prior IT experience, 3 to 5 years. You're thinking 3 to 5 years to get, if you come from an IT background, to get skilled in cyber. That's probably a good. It's definitely better if you come from the help desk and went into servers or went into network. If you've got that background already, you're moving out in cyber. You got a little heads up. All right, 29% of organizations think they should be providing significantly more training, and 28 say they're not providing enough training for non-technical employees. Based on 4 years of research, training seems to be a perpetual shortcoming. Alarmingly, there seems to be no plan for improvement. I remember when I took my first job out of the military. In the military, I'll tell you what, say what you want about the military. I know that this is the way the Army worked. If you want it, you can get as much training. They will cram training down your throat. If you want it. I did some exceptional training in the Army for this field. And some of that was when I was in the reserves. When I got out of the active Army and moved to the reserves, and it would go into Carnegie Mellon for graduate school stuff. I mean, who does that? I wouldn't have done it without the Army, that's for sure. So yeah, there's opportunities. I don't know if you want to enlist in the Army. That's hard run to get there, but it'll get you there. Get your clearance too. Yeah, there's no plan for improvement. You gotta have that. Gotta have a plan. Have a plan for yourself. Have a plan for your people. If you're in charge of people, if you're a people manager, have a plan for every single one of your people, and don't just have it for this year. Don't just say get some training next year. Have a plan. Sit down with them and say, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be next year? Where do you want to be in 3 years? Maybe 3 years they're going to say, I want to be done. I want to be out of this field. I want to be retired. Good on you. You're here. Let's plan for that. Yeah. Train like your life. Very true. Train like your life depends on it, because really it does. And when there's a couple things keep you. I remember that same company, AG Edwards. We spun off and became our own IT company. We're it's a weird spinoff, but we got our first CSO came in for the new IT company. He said his first address to the entirety of the company was keep yourself employable. And he paused and he said, maybe not here, but keep yourself employable. So do the best you can for the job you have now, but always be ready. Always have that backup plan. Should they come to you tomorrow and say, hey, we've got to cut 15% of the people, make sure your resume is ready to go. Make sure your skill set's ready to go to the next thing. Make sure you're looking at what's going on in the market today. If you wonder what's going on in the market today, a lot of people can tell you cloud and virtualization. Cool. Cloud and virtualization is truly, yeah, that's there. But what are you talking about cloud? It's cloud specializations. It's Kubernetes. It's Docker. It's being able to do Terraform. It's not just generic cloud. You can't go in and say, hey, potential employer, I'm pretty good at the cloud. I know infrastructure as a service. I know software as a service. And I know platform as a service. I know these things. Yeah, you got to be able to say, hey, I know how to use Docker. I can use Kubernetes. I know how to use Terraform modules. I know how to write Ansible scripts. You got to be able to, if you're going to be there, that's it. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. On the other side of the, DevSecOps. That DevOps is, the development operations cycle is moving from that traditional. We used to have that development environment, test environment, and then production. Now it's all going on in this DevOps, and now, as Coyote has said, DevSecOps. We've shoved security in there because security's got to be in DevOps. You got to know that. Get in that stream. Learn. We're all pretty good at this traditional waterfall project management. You're going to have to know Agile, because DevOps is Agile. It's moving fast. It's 2-week sprints. They're going to try to move some kind of product forward. You're going to have to be able to move security into that product before they go forward. They may say, hey, in the last product we had 2 weeks ago, we didn't have wireless. 2 weeks from now, we want to have wireless. You got to say, hey, if you're going to have wireless, you need these controls in place. So build this in the sprint. Ability to keep up with cybersecurity challenges and the results indicate the need to improve. 70% think cybersecurity technologies and service vendors should be doing a lot more, or somewhat more, to a lot more. And the same number think the cyber community at large should be doing somewhat or a lot more as well. The cybersecurity gap cannot be addressed by simply filling the pipeline with new people. You just can't throw the people at it. You got to throw skilled people, or if you're going to throw people at it, you got to give them a plan to get from A to Z. Said Candy Alexander, board president of ISSA International. Alex, we ever heard of those guys? ISSA? What's needed is a holistic approach starting with public education, comprehensive career development and planning, and career mapping. Yes, I agree with all of that, Candy. All while supporting the integration with the business. John Olsick, Senior Principal and Analyst at ESG Fellow. While we're making some fragmented progress, the same issues present themselves year after year, including a shortage of skills, undertrained employees, and stress caused by their career in cybersecurity, in the cybersecurity field. Yeah, this is a stressful field. You got to stay up on technology. I mean, operating system change, network system change, the threat changes. I mean, who would have thought 10 years ago we'd be worried about people breaking in and stealing your data and encrypting it? Yes, ISSA is a great org for security. ISSA Nova out here in Northern Virginia, if you have the opportunity to hang out with those folks. Great group of people. Great group. And a big group out here in the Northern Virginia area. I don't know if it was the biggest one in the world, right? ISSA Nova, the Northern Virginia chapter, probably still is, the largest ISSA group in the world. And obviously good group, good place to go to network, to meet people in this field, and just see what's going on. So there they have the one I pulled up. I pulled this other story, and I need to throw it in the show notes because I pulled it up after I did the show notes. Talks about the cybersecurity workforce gap. This is from a organization called the CSIS, which is the Center for Strategic and International Studies. It's a think tank. It's rated #1 by Global Go-To Think Tank Index. I don't know if that's the index they run or something. It says 82% of employers report a shortage of IT skills, and 71% the talent gap causes direct and measurable damage to their organizations. According to CyberSeek, initiative funded by the National Institute, or a National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, or NICE. You hear about NICE. I hear NICE all the time. In the United States, faced a shortfall of almost 314,000 cybersecurity professionals as of January 2019. It's not too long ago, about a year. Well, it is getting a little bit ago. To put this in context, the country's total unemployed. Let's see. To put this in context, the country's total unemployed cybersecurity workforce is just 700. Oh, employed. Sorry, I'm saying. No wonder I can't read this. Can't read the article right. Let me start that all over again. Okay, to put this in context, the country, the United States, total employed cybersecurity workforce is 716,000 people, and we're 314,000 short. According to data derived from job posting, the number of unfilled cybersecurity jobs has grown by 50% since 2015. By 2022, the global cybersecurity workforce shortage is projected to reach upwards of 1.8 million unfilled positions. That's the United States. The other article I say says that this is from Info Security. They're pulling their data from somewhere, from ISC Squared, and they talked to 3,200 professionals worldwide, and they are saying the number of unfilled positions stands now at globally stands at 4.07 million professionals, up from 2.93 million last year. And this is like November of 2019, I think. Yeah, some jobs are hard to fill. Specific, as we talked about. Yeah, if you zero in on that specialization, you're gonna. Sometimes you can write your own ticket, man. CIS reported a human capital crisis in cybersecurity found in the United States not only has a shortage of the highly, there we go, exactly what you're talking about, highly technical skilled people required to operate and support systems already developed, but also even more desperate shortage of people who can design secure systems, write secure computer code, and create even more sophisticated tools needed to prevent, detect, mitigate, and reconstitute from damage due to failures and malicious acts. CSIS found that IT professionals are still consider technical skills like intrusion detection, secure software development, and attack mitigation to be the most difficult skills to find among cybersecurity operators. So what's the point, guys? What's the point of all this? Yeah, folks, and I talk to folks a bit. I see people trying, they're knocking on the door to get into cybersecurity. They're not going to, and they don't have, to Mike's point, they don't have this, very specific skill set, because you got to get in the field to develop that very specific skill set. But we leave them outside. We're like people for months and years trying to get into cybersecurity, can't get in. But, according to these guys, they're saying there's 300,000 unfilled positions. Crazy. 314,000 unfilled positions, shortfall. Then you got other people trying to get in and can't get in because they can't meet these crazy job postings or job requirements that hiring managers are too lazy to update, and they give them to HR, and HR doesn't understand what they're filling, so they're going entirely off the job posting, and the job posting hasn't been updated for 3 years, and it's asking for somebody that has a master's degree and a CISSP and 10 years experience to bring somebody at entry-level security operations center. That's how we're killing her. That's part of the reason, is lazy hiring managers. And I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say that's on the table, guys. That's if you're a hiring manager, you're not updating your job postings to be accurately reflecting the position you're hiring for. Part of this on you. That's why you're not getting the positions you need. That's why you're not getting the filled positions. The other part is, if you've got a workforce, build a map for them. Tell them, ask them point blank, how long do you want to work in this group, the group you're running? And then where do you want to go? Hopefully it's within your same organization. Hopefully they're just going to move from one place to another within your organization, and you can spend time building them up and getting them set to go to that new place. With the mentoring, if you have the opportunity to be a mentor, we'd love. Fill the form out on Cyber-Recon. There's a mentorship form out there. Be a mentor. Get a couple people and help build their map. Maybe they're not even cyber. Maybe they're in, Monday. We talk to folks. Someone's from soccer, comes from the background of soccer, right? They led people in soccer teams and development in that skill set. If they could lead there, they could probably lead here. Help transition people from where they're at today to where they want to be, and then use those skill sets they've already developed to help build that map out. I know I'm kicking a dead horse here probably, but you got to do it. If you're the person that's been around a while, help build those maps. If you're new and you're trying to get somewhere, figure out where you want to go. That's a big thing. It's hard in cybersecurity because sometimes you're on the outside. You don't even know what cybersecurity jobs are there. How many of you guys know there's a job, threat intel hunter? I mean, Who knew that, right? Requirements for the field are constantly evolving, which means more to learn for both cyber employees and hiring managers. Yeah. When I've been in this field like, I don't know, 25 or 30 years now. All this stuff, we started back then was mainframes. Now we're kind of using the same principles with cloud. But wireless has come along. It's ubiquitous now. Ubiquitous. That's everywhere. I'll say it that way. Mobile computing, distributed computing, a remote workforce, cloud computing, automotive computing, all these things. Now self-driving cars, Internet of Things, all new things. You're exactly right, Coyote. And next year it'll be something new. There'll be a new technology and a new security tool and a new something, and you've got to stay on top of it. And that's why you've got to pick that. And that's I'll go back to Alex's comment. Let me pull that back. This is a good place to go. It used to be, before the pandemic, you could go to meetings and you go there, and someone would get up and they say, "Hey, I'm just learning about technology X," and then 80 people in the room would go, "I never even heard of that before," and then they can talk about it and explain it, and then 15 people go off to start learning it, and it starts building people in that field. Get around people, you figure out what's going on, what skills are needed, what shortages are there. And a lot of times they're just straight up training. I was always a big fan. Alex, you know me, I was a big fan of the social events, the Christmas socials and that kind of stuff. But yeah, always good stuff. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying think about things. Think about you and the people you support. You and the people if you're a leader, you are responsible for your people. Don't be that leader that goes in and just points and manages. Be a leader. Go in and lead people. Help, there's nothing, and I've seen this in the military before, nothing better than working for one of your soldiers later, right? That means you did the job right in training them up. Don't think it's bad to have someone, I wouldn't mind at all if somebody that was working for me today was my boss at some point in the future. That means they got set on the right path by somebody. Hopefully it was me. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know what you guys think. Yeah. Constantly change, which means more to learn for both cybersecurity employees and hiring managers. Know what you're hiring for. The HR folks aren't going to be able to take your PD, your job description, position description. They're not going to be able to take that and translate it into something. They're not going to understand what you're asking for, what you think you want by putting it down. You got to be very specific in that, because HR people are HR. They're in the HR field. They're not in the cyber field. You got to tell them exactly what you're looking for. They'll go try to find it. Hopefully they will find it for you. So that's my, I'm going to get off my soapbox, guys. I'll get off my soapbox. It is the weekend. Hopefully you guys got good plans for the weekend. I'm saying go out there. Take care of your friends, your family, your coworkers, your organization. Of course, this is a community. We're trying to take care of each other. Next trivia night's the 19th of November. Throw that on your calendar. Tell your Echo device or your Google Home, whatever. Tell it. Remind me. Next Cyber Trivia Night is the 19th. Check out the social media. I know we got the Facebook page is out there running. Of course, the YouTube is up and running. Lovely D, I think, is getting Instagram. Maybe today we'll get that worked out. Wait for Alex's comment to come through. Always takes a second. Be like the 5-tool baseball player. Learn deep technical, business technical, communication, presentation skills, financial business awareness, and building your team. That's a great list. Great list, Alex. That needs to be a PowerPoint slide or something on its own. Y'all should, I'm going to leave this up here. You guys screenshot that, take a picture of it, write it down. I think these are 5 great points. Deep technical, business technical. You got to be able to, the business folks aren't going to learn your technology. They're not going to learn to talk to you. You've got to learn to talk to the business folks. And when I say business, I mean if you're in the government and you're supporting an organization, that's not necessarily a business. Learn what that organization, learn what the operators of the organization, learn how they speak, learn what they do, because they're not going to learn what you do. Communication and presentation skills, yes. Be able to speak to people, to be able to present effectively. And unfortunately, that's that PowerPoint ranger, right? And financial and business awareness and building your team. Build a team. Definitely. Thank you, Alex, for throwing that out there. I'm going to leave that for a second. You guys screenshot that thing. I think it's worth it. Trivia was helpful. Lots of network questions were very tough. Tough. Mako, as Alex will tell you, Mako likes to trip folks up on trivia night. I think next week he's probably going to start building questions for the next trivia night. So that's all I got to say, guys. That's all I got to say. You know, can do this all day, Captain A. You can do this all day. Hopefully you don't have to. You guys go out there. Think about those folks that are downrange, deployed somewhere, keeping us all safe. Whatever service, branch their service they're in, contractors, consultants that are overseas. Folks overseas that are out there doing what they need to do, not because they asked to do it, not because they wanted to go where we sent them, but because we sent them as a country. We sent them wherever they're at. So remember they're out there. It's raining. I'm sitting inside. It's raining outside there. You know, I don't know, combat arms guys are probably just sitting in the rain somewhere, or the heat. So anyways, take care of your friends, your family, coworkers. Take care of each other. Take care of your organization. From Mike Bravo, I'll throw it out there. Go get some today. You guys have been great. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning, bright and early at 7:30 right here. Go check out the Facebook channel. It's a long term. It's Cyber-Recon training, all one word. No hyphen in that one, because they won't let you use a hyphen, so we can't keep it consistent. But if you look for the Facebook group Cyber-Recon training, you'll find us. And anyways, be good, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks for everything.